Hello everyone, thanks for checking out this video here on how to submit the degree petitions using the new Eform. You're going to find it over in eTrieve Central. It's right here in the list of forms and you'll see it listed here. Even though it's called a degree petition, notice that you can use it for both degrees and certificates if you happen to be submitting for a skill certificate or certificate of achievement. As you know, this form then gets routed over to the evaluators and they have a process of sending it back to you, and you can send it then back to them by referring it to them after you clean up any issues that might need to be cleaned up. But once you submit it to them, if it's a clean petition and there aren't any issues with it, they'll do their initial evaluation and then approve it. And once they approve it, it will then show up over in the Students eTrieve folder. It will be up to you to make sure that before you submit the petition that everything's in order, that the student really is eligible to petition, that all of their in-progress courses will complete whatever the degree or the certificate is. You also want to make sure that if we're using any documentation like external transcripts or AP scores or correspondence with programs, that all of that stuff is in file in eTrieve. Because once you submit this petition, the evaluators are going to need to be able to go over to eTrieve to find that info. It's a pretty simple form. You're going to put in the ID and I'll show you how to go about doing that. I do want to point out that you can submit up to 5 degrees or certificates, 5 different programs using this one form. If you need to do more than that, of course, you can just open up another petition and submit it, but we thought that 5 petitions in one form would probably cover most situations. You're going to see that there's a notes section for each individual program, so if there's any kind of notes that you need to give the evaluators, you can do that either with a specific program, or there's also a comment section at the bottom if you just want to give them some overall notes that are going to pertain to all of the different certificates. So it's, oh, and one other thing, if you're using more than 3 external courses or tests, that's when we would like you to use the full transcript evaluation report and make sure that there's a copy of that over in eTrieve. But if it's just 1, 2, or 3 AP tests or 3 external courses that you're bringing in, there really isn't a need to go through a whole transcript evaluation report. You can just make note of that, those changes or those substitutions right here on the form. So you start off by putting in an ID number, searching for the student. Student's name comes up. Notice that you get an alert letting you know that there are already 3 active degree petitions for this student. You'll see any active degree petitions listed right down here. And by active, we mean that a counselor has already submitted a petition for this student for those 3 programs right there. The evaluators are still doing their initial review of that petition. Once the evaluators approve it and move it forward, then you're going to find a copy of it over in eTrieve in the student's content folder in eTrieve. But between that time when the evaluator receives it and when they do their initial approval, you'll see any of those petitions listed here. So that really means from the minute that another counselor submits a petition, we all have a way of seeing that that petition has been submitted. This tool will also not even let you submit. If you tried to submit another AS degree in accounting, it wouldn't let you do it. So we'll keep this first petition really simple. We've got the student in. We need to put the graduation term. You can pick the subject. And once you pick the subject, all of the relevant programs for that particular subject pop up to make it really easy to pick which program you want to be graduating from. You can put in the catalog year, or you need to put in the catalog year. And if that was the one degree that we were doing, the next part would be putting in the unit totals. You have to indicate whether they're degree applicable totals, whether they're CSU transferable, or whether they're UC transferable units for this degree. This one that we're about to submit, we'll put in the units attempted, we'll put in the units completed, we'll put in the grade points. Notice that it does some fun things for us. It automatically totals them, automatically calculates out the GPA. You can put in the units that are in progress. Notice that then it gives you a tentative unit total. That's what the unit total would be, assuming that all of the in-progress classes are completed. So if it was really this clean, just Cabrillo units, you could go ahead and submit it at this point. If there are some units from another college or AP tests, you could put those notes right here in the notes field, clearly telling the evaluators how you're going to use the AP test, letting them know how you're going to apply that other course from another college. And again, if it's up to 3, you can just put them right here on this form. We'll then add those units down here. And we'll add in the AP test. Notice that it doesn't even give you an opportunity to put AP tests in with units attempted and grade points, because we don't calculate any of that into the GPA, so it just puts it right into the units completed column. It adds those values into the overall totals. And at this point, you could go ahead and submit this. It's now gone over to the evaluators, and they would take a look at it. If they send it back to you with any comments, you'd be able to resolve those and then refer it back to the evaluator so that they can do their initial approval and get the thing sent over into eTrieve. Any petition that you've ever submitted, you're going to find over here in activity. Now, this activity file for all of us in counseling builds up with a lot of repeat petitions. You can always search and refine this down. If you just want to look at all the degree petitions that you've ever submitted, it'll filter out all of those repeat petitions and just show you the degree petitions that you have submitted. Not everybody else, obviously, but just the ones that you've submitted. Or if there's a specific student that you want to see the petitions that you may have submitted for that student, those would show up in here as well. So hopefully that gives you a good broad overview. Obviously ask any questions if you have them, and have fun with the new form.